Hi everyone, welcome to the bonus features of this video that you may or may not have just finished, or maybe you skipped to the end. We're not sure, but I kind of made a joke that we should record this because Joey keeps drinking, and I was like, hey, we could like do a little thing, and he's like, hey, you guys should ask me things, and we asked him to elaborate, and then he just started recording. So I'm not particularly certain what we're supposed to be doing.
I also don't know how long it's going to take me to drink this, to be perfectly honest.
Jacob, what do you want to ask him? Here, let's hear.
I
You
refuse to
come up with
participate in this madness. I'm just here for health and safety reasons.
Let's be real. You could ask me literally anything, and I'll probably answer truthfully or somewhat close to truthfully.
This is the first time I've ever hosted anything on this channel. I want to do it well. Okay, you know what? Okay, fine. We're gonna take this at least a little bit seriously at first. Joey, what do you think is the thing that you've released on the channel that you are the most proud of right now?
I mean, I want to say it's one of the. I've already spilled some drink. I want to say it's one of the comic adaptations. So I feel like we put some really good work out. You know, obviously the most popular video on the channel is Death Talking to Dream in The Sound of Her Wings, which I feel like me and Taya did a fantastic job with.
Yeah,
I love also oh god, what's it called? Oh god, what's the story called in Sandman? The other story that me and Taya did.
Season of Mist.
Season of Mist. That's it. We did the prelude to Season of Mists as Death and Dream. We did a fantastic job with that. As such, Brian and Marcus did a great job with oh god, what's it called? The Song of Orpheus. I had a really hard time with this. So of course I love the comic adaptations we've done on the channel. But I also love some particular episodes of Fresh Face Comics. There's some really great conversations.
But I'm curious. Do you have a favorite episode of Fresh Face Comics that we've done?
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
I think in general, it's hard to pin down a single one. I mean, if I'm answering, legitimately, I really, really love literally any time we have guests on the podcast. I always love talking with our friends about the things that we love. Comic stories that I feel like having you read and bringing other people into that is always a really great conversation to have with those people. I love talking to those people about stories that we really love, and usually we end up getting guests that are fairly new to the comic sphere. So seeing like their sort of perspective on comics as a medium is always really exciting. So it's hard to pin down one exactly, but it really has to be one of them with the guests. I love whenever we have the Enterprise system on, whenever we have Mason on, of course, Mason is always a fantastic guest. Also Rachel and Marcus and Andrew and all those fantastic guests that we've had on over the years. It's been fantastic. And I really love talking with those people about those stories. So.
Awesome. I have another question. Joey, holy shit. You okay? What the hell just happened?
I don't know. I don't know.
What just happened? Did you bite your lip or something?
I don't know. Oh god.
Look, it's not that emotional a question. You don't have to spill tears over it. It's okay,
I will finish this drink. I'm almost halfway through it. Fuck.
I think if we make him spill
it just dropped. So there's less than half of it left now.
Okay, great. I had a question. Oh wait, yes, I remember. Unless Jacob, do you have another question, or I have another one? No? Okay.
Oh man, look at my shirt. Fucking hell.
God, yeah. He looks like a mess right
now. Yeah, I am. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So for Fresh Face Comics, so I don't know how open you've been about this publicly, but to me at least, you've been very you've planned out the episodes you want to do very, very far ahead. So I'm curious as to as the podcast has gone on, have there been any times where you added a comic storyline that you wanted to do that you hadn't done before, or did you take one out that you for whatever reason? I'm curious as to any big changes the schedule's had over the time.
Yeah, I mean, all the time. I'm always changing the schedule. Always changing certain stories that I think should go in like different places. Different stories that I think would be more relevant at certain places. I do also take sort of Jacob's opinions into account. So there have been certain times where he's been like, "Oh, I want to see more of this run or this writer," and I usually take that into account and be like, "Okay, well, let's bump up more of this run and see more of this writer earlier on than I was originally planning." Because I like to, sorry, fucking hell, I like appealing to Jacob's
Your
to
co-host.
Jacob's yeah, appealing to Jacob's own artistic and narrative sensibilities, things that he likes and things that I think he would enjoy. So I like appealing to those, but also, things for myself. I love including things that I love as well. And also things that I know, like that listeners enjoy as well. There have been popular ones that, say like neither Jacob or myself have particularly loved, but that I know are revered by many in the comic sphere. Let's say a lot of Frank Miller works. Me and Jacob aren't huge Frank Miller fans. But I love including Frank Miller stories because I know people really enjoy those. Those tend to be really popular episodes. So I forget the original point of the question.
Oh no, I
Fuck.
was like, well, I mean,
You
okay,
did.
here,
I will
here.
say you did split and bring forward some Marvel stuff very recently.
It's true, yeah, actually, because we finished the first Marvel block, or we were close to finishing the first Marvel block, and I was like, okay, well, we finished we finished Planet Hulk, and I asked you both, I was like, hey, do you guys want to see more Marvel sooner? And you were like, oh yeah, let's bring it up a little bit, and I was like, okay, well, would you prefer like continuations of things we've already done, or new stories? And you both were like, let's fucking do continuations because we want to both get to World War Hulk. And I was like, cool, let's
Yes.
fucking do that. Let's continue these stories. And so yeah, World War Hulk is coming back a lot sooner than I thought it would originally. And that's sort of me like taking into account what you both enjoy in these comics and continue seeing and enjoying in these stories that we've read. I like bringing forward those stories, and I like seeing you both, Jacob especially, being my co-host, enjoying the things that we've already done and continuing those particular plot lines. So that's fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, okay, here, how about this? Have there been any comics where um your like Joey, like your opinion of it changed drastically from like your memory versus doing it like rereading it for the podcast or like
Oh, many a time, many a time. Specifically in reference to I can't speak. I'm drunk. Specifically in reference to New 52 comics, I think especially the New 52 is an era that I have a particular reverence for in DC Comics, and sort of revisiting those with a more critical eye for the podcast has always been more exciting for me, especially in reference to Justice League comics and to let's say Aquaman comics in particular, things that I have taken a closer look at because of the podcast, that I sort of like enjoyed more passively for the podcast. I think I appreciate more now on a critical level than I did back then, and back when I first read them, that is. And I can sort of look at them differently now. So certainly my opinions have changed on certain things. I also enjoyed more comics, certain comics more than I did originally nowadays than I did back when I first read them. Because there are certain things that I legitimately realized that I enjoy more now these days than I did back when I first read them, such as what's an example? Say like Batman Endgame. That's a great story that I think ends off the Scott Snyder run of Batman. I think I legitimately enjoyed when reading like that run more in from a critical eye that legitimately like made me look at it differently. When I'm reading it for a podcast and it makes me look at it differently. I think that excites me a lot, and yeah, I think that's it makes me look at it differently, and it makes me enjoy it more. Or in certain cases make me enjoy it less. So it's very
nice.
different. So yeah, let's see. We have time for like two more questions. So
Yeah, I think I have.
As I'm recovering from this last drink. So
Yeah. Let's
yeah.
see. What's like the biggest disagreement? I mean, I guess this is a question for the both of you, but what's the biggest like disagreement of opinions you guys have had over a comic?
Mm.
Like, has like one of you loved it but the other hated it? Like,
Ooh,
I don't think
that's
ever
tough.
that much.
I don't think we've ever had like massive disagreements. I think we've certainly had like minor disagreements, but nothing that really like divided us, say, as friends or as podcast hosts. I think I don't know. I think we've never had anything that really divided us massively. I think the biggest maybe disagreement we've had, and again, this goes back sort of to the question of things I enjoyed more or less from when I first read them to, compared to the podcast readings. See, something like Trinity War, something that I sort of enjoyed passively, but Jacob sort of made me realize that, like, hey, like it's actually not that great, and it's something that I should have looked at a bit more critically, and something that I should have take it in more as a story that is much more a product of its time than it is like an actually good, like, timeless story. See, something like, a lot of the Scott Snyder Batman run is really great, like, timeless stories, and maybe Jeff Johns' Justice League isn't as timeless as that, and maybe isn't
Jeff Johns'
as,
Justice League is a lot rougher than you initially thought.
yeah, definitely, big time. So, there are other stories in there, but I think, I think specifically when I've asked questions like that, I think more to like Jeff Johns' Justice League than I think more toward the other runs that we've done. So, yeah.
I think the most annoyed you've gotten with me is my dislike of Lobo. I don't love the
Yeah,
character of Lobo.
you're fucking dumb for that. That's more a Fresh Face One Shots thing than it is an actual Fresh Face Comics thing. So, yeah. All right, last question. What do you got for us, Mason?
yeah.
I'm
So
still
this
recovering from my drunkenness.
yeah. So this one might be. I'm not sure how interesting of an answer that this question will have, but I mean, on the channel, you do a lot of like different one shots or like I guess side episodes of the podcast. But like throughout all of your he is out of the frame. He is bent over. Okay, Joey,
I'm
you
good.
okay?
I'm good.
Okay. Has there been any video or idea that you had for a video that you've had to scrap, or like maybe you've like, or like I guess I think like you got like partway through a recording and you were like, oh shit, we like this isn't going well, or like you had to like re-record something, or just I guess anything you've had to scrap.
I don't think we've ever had that, have we? I don't think so. I think
We've had. I mean, we've made some odd cuts here and there where interruptions happen.
Oh yeah.
But I don't think I don't think we've ever cut like a video or discussion, a podcast episode entirely. I know I personally, in planning out the podcast, have come across storylines that I think aren't worth as pursuing as other stories that we've done have come. I would certainly like to cover those stories eventually, but there are certain ones that I've, especially given like the format of Fresh Face Comics is pretty much like, it's let's look at these particular runs that we've done, sort of continue with those and see where those would be most relevant in stories that we're covering in the future, and maybe just look at certain runs that I had considered covering in the past, and look at those and be like, okay, well, maybe that's not as worth covering as, say, this other run that might be more relevant. So that's more like the planning stage. I don't think we've ever had a video that we've started recording that we've ever like stopped on, because I think for the most part, once we get to the recording stage, there's usually a conversation really worth having between the two of us. Something really worth.
By the time we're recording, I've already read and taken notes, and
yeah. There's something worth talking about there. Whether it's big or small, there's always something worth talking about. Whether we like it or dislike it, whether it's big or not big. There should always be something that I think is worth us having a conversation about, making a podcast episode about, making a podcast episode about, making a video about. Again, I'm very drunk right now. I apologize. But making a video about. There's always something worth us saying, and if there's something not worth us saying, then I think it would have already been scrapped long before we even just consider talking about it, because I like to think that I have better planning skills than us getting into a conversation and us deciding like halfway through, okay, no, this isn't worth it, I usually like to think that if I put us into an episode that there's something worth saying, and if there isn't,
I'll say
then I
like
walk
the biggest cuts are logistical. Like I know we've had it where sometimes like we are on the day and then something comes up and we have to end up moving a recording day. It's happened once.
Moving recording days, cutting in the middle of episodes, interruptions, problems with you needing water or something because you refuse to fucking buy bottles of water, you little bitch. But no,
this is true. This is true.
Legit, just like it's only ever small things. I don't think we ever had anything.
Or like if one of us is slightly sick and we're recording, like that'll usually have more cuts.
I literally had a problem during before an Aquaman episode recording where water got into my microphone and we had a great laugh about that, and that was fantastic.
Oh
no! But guests having to drop out last minute, I guess. So
like we have changes like that, but I've never thrown us into a conversation that I don't think was ever not worth it. It's never been on the macro scale of like, the conversation isn't even worth having. It's always, just small things. And I like to take pride in the fact that we've always, at the very least, started conversations that are worth having in the first place. So there's
awesome.
that.
Good answer.
Holy shit, I'm drunk, but wow, thank you for that conversation. Holy shit, I really appreciate it. Thank you, Mason.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's Jacob, cool for like I think like potentially for anyone watching who has got this far is like clearly like fans of the channel, and I think it is fun to like try to at least verbalize the process that y'all have with what you do and like how it and like just like I guess open the door for other people. I feel like I sound like a very stereotypical like Q&A YouTuber right now, but just like being able to talk about it because it is like doing the podcast is genuinely pretty fun. And I mean, I've never really hosted a podcast. I had a couple episodes with some friends, but like that was really it. So just like the process of doing a consistent series, like several consistent series on the channel is genuinely really impressive, I think. So just like I guess being able to talk about it is kind of cool.
Yeah, I think
it could also be its own video. We can't just stick this at the end.
I think I really will make this own video. This its own video. I must say again, I'm very drunk right now.
Here, I can here. Should I put in a disclaimer to put at the that you can like edit at at
Oh, they will very much get that at the front of the video.
Okay, fair enough.
But I really must thank you, Mason, for even wanting to have this conversation randomly at the end of whatever the fuck my drunken state is right now. I really appreciate that. And
for sure.
Again, just speaking to me really honestly about the things we've done on this channel, going on nearly 3 years now. By the time it's done, nearly 3 years. This is kind of insane, and I always appreciate the things we get to do, and I always appreciate you coming on to talk with us about these things, Mason. Truly, you are truly I think, if I can put any words together in this state that I'm in right now, truly I must thank you for being this sort of this extra leg that we sort of need in the channel every now and then. I really appreciate that. I don't know what I'm saying right now. I really apologize for this.
No, Joey's reached the "I love you guys so much" stage of drunk.
I think you need to close this. Mason, I think you need to close this out. So
sure. Okay. Everyone.
Importantly,
okay.
To be drunk is to be truthful, and to be truthful is to say I love you both very much, and to say thank you for all that you've done for me throughout not just this channel's life, but throughout my life that I've known you both. And it means a lot. So you can close this out now, Mason. I apologize.
That's very kind of you. Well, hey, everyone, thank you so much for clicking on the video. Joey and Jacob and I mean me as well. We all appreciate the support you give the channel. Subscribe, like the video, share it with your friends. Even hey, the podcast is great for people who love comics and the people who don't know it. Like, it's the whole point of the channel. So anyone I think can enjoy it because at the base of it all, it's two friends, maybe more, having a conversation about things that they like. So thank you so much for everything you do and watching the channel and supporting it. And we hope to see you around soon. So yeah, hope you have a good rest of your day.